All righty, guys. Let's talk about Daboll, though, because we've kind of been hinting at the main issue here that we kind of see after this game here. And we got to ask the question when we got the lovely picture of a pouting Brian Daboll on this year. Has Brian Daboll lost the team? Has he lost the locker room? Does he not look very sad in that picture, by the way?
He does. He looks like he definitely didn't win the 440 to get
yeah.
He did the 4-yard dash to get his wings.
I feel sad for people in the audio version right now that can't see this picture because I feel like this is like Brian Daboll contemplating life and asking where things went wrong. that's what that picture is to me, 100%. Yeah. And yeah, guys, listen, I have been of the mindset of this team with this team that Brian Daboll never lost the team. That Brian Daboll was a guy who seemed to have this team still playing hard when it didn't matter. That I still had faith in him potentially as a guy who could get offense going, and we're blaming DJ. On the show yesterday, I went out and bashed him on play calling, and I think fairly so. I'm still pissed off about the 4th and 1 on the second drive overall. That was stupidity. I'm still pissed off about the trick play when we're at 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. That was stupidity. There's plenty of things that are stupidity that he did in this whole thing. And that's just the two obvious ones. I haven't even gotten a chance to go back and look at the all 22 or anything. But this is the first time I've seen the players not seem to be behind him. Yeah. And that's a really scary thing if you're Brian Daboll. That's the one thing that I thought was not going to happen because I feel like for whatever reason he had to seem to have a good grip on this locker room. It seems to me he's lost the grip. And there ain't no stickum left in the league here.
Nope.
Like, this is not going well for him whatsoever. There's already the rumor that if things don't go well in Thanksgiving, that they'd make the change then. Because you get a couple extra days, it's a sensible time to make the change. I don't know how true that is. That's all rumors and rumblings. I'm not trying to say I have a source in that. I'm not trying to say anything crazy like that. But there's some sensibility to that. That if you were going to make the move, you make it while you're still there. Got a couple extra days because you're playing Thursday. You got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you got the week. So you got 3 extra days of preparation and changing out there. I'm just not sure that's going to be the timetable to do it. I feel like Mara is not going to want to pull that plug. Shane's not going to want to pull that plug because those two are like, attached at the hips there.
100%.
I don't know. And is it a safe question to ask, Rob, of like, is this going to be an issue, the friendship of Shane and Daboll, where if Shane has to be the one to pull the plug, will he pull the plug even though there's a DNR on this whole thing?
I don't think so. I think they've been together so long, and Daboll gets it. When we hired him, and we talked about his coaching, trajectory, and he's on 17 teams just about.
Yeah.
He knows what it's like getting fired. He knows what it's like leaving somewhere, going, even leaving the NFL, going back to college, coming back. So he knows what it's like to be fired. So Shane goes, listen, came down from the fam, have to do it. Sorry, bud, you're out.
Yeah, but would Mara do that though? Like you saw, Mara talking to Joe Shane during Hard Knocks about Saquon. He obviously wanted to keep Saquon, and Joe Shane obviously didn't, and Joe Shane won. Is Mara going to let him do his thing? And then are we going to have to be stuck with him longer than we should be and make this a huge circus act? You know?
The thing you also got to ask too is so Mara already said he was committed. He's trying to stay out. He's been dabbling more in, with the team than he should have, not giving coaches enough time. You're once again, you had one good season with these guys, their rookie years, this coaching, and all of a sudden, we're trash. So he may pull the trigger and say, hey, listen, something's got to change. It's you or him, or both of you.
Yep.
You figure it out. Shane most likely is not going to be oh, I have to go.
I wonder, though, if if there's one thing about John Mara, he doesn't like to be embarrassed publicly. He doesn't. He cares very much about not necessarily his view with the fans, because I think the fans have disliked him for quite a number of years, but his view within NFL circles. He's very respected in NFL circles, partially because of the last name and everything his father meant to this league, obviously. But he has a respect and a good reputation within the league, and he wants to keep it. If this becomes a sideshow, he loses it. And if this becomes a sideshow, why not make the change?
Well, that's it.
And for both, I'm saying that to be clear.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with what you're saying, especially because, like, look at all the talks that has happened over the past week with Daniel Jones. Like, a lot of people coming out and just throwing a lot of hate towards Daboll and Shane of what they've done to DJ, even though like there's a lot of DJ haters out there, but a lot of them, like, at least were like, you're going to make this guy play safety on a scouting team? Like, what the crap is that? Like, that's a total slap in the face.
And I think that's the issue right there, what you said. And I think that's why these two both lost this locker room, and Deb alluded to that in the comment as well, is I think this locker room has potentially been lost because of the way that they treated, Daniel Jones. They see this offseason, Saquon Barkley being disrespected by Joe Shane. Now they see this organization as a whole, minus Mara, treating DJ like crap on the way out. And there's no need for it. Again, I've said it before on the show. I don't want to beat the dead horse here. Horrible quarterback, great teammate, great person. And if you're going to let someone go at a job because of performance, but you have respect for them, you do it in a respectful way.
Correct.
That was not a respectful way. And I think the locker room took a lot of, issue with that. And I think the locker room looked at everything going on and says, hold on, if they don't give a damn about DJ, when this man fought his tail off with this team, this guy did everything right. This guy was the first guy to in, the last guy to leave. Yeah, he wasn't good, so we understand him going, but he did so much with this team, and you're just going to treat him like that?
Yeah. Disrespect.
What am I to them? What am I to them then?
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about before with the whole playing soft thing. It's like we all like illusions at our job. I feel like that illusion that I'm cared about, the illusion that my bosses give a damn about me, when in reality, most don't. I'll be being very frank with you. Now, are there some that do? Yes. I mean, I'm a boss myself. I like to think that I do care, at least to a certain degree. I don't get involved in people's personal life under me, but I do care. I care that they enjoy their work environment and that kind of stuff as best I can make it. But not to toot my own horn, but not every boss does that. Not everybody cares. And unfortunately, the higher you get up, the less you do care. So you have so many more people under you.
Yeah.
So, I know there's like, a decent number of players on the team here, obviously, between the active roster, the practice squad, all those kind of, things, but when you see one of the prominent people of your franchise get treated like crap like that, it's going to affect you. And I think
100%.
that's what it is. They're seeing them not being cared about. They're seeing the constant losing. They're seeing the bad play calling. They're seeing the poor decisions. They're seeing the players this offseason, guys like Saquon, getting talked trash about. Guys like Tyrod Taylor, you think he's coming back? When he hated what happened with the Giants, there was no way in goddamn hell he was coming back. And you see that kind of stupidity, and it's going to affect you. And I think the players have lost respect for these two. I really do. And
I
maybe
think
I'm
so too.
overthinking it by one game. Maybe I am. Maybe this is overreaction Monday.
Maybe, but I mean, I talked about this last week when we decided to not start Drew Lock, and I agree with that decision. But when you promise a guy to come in here and give him all these hopes and dreams, and then when push comes to shove, it's time to do it, and you literally treat him like crap and say, "Nope, sorry, don't get the job." Like, that's something else that goes a long way. Like, everyone knew, like, in that situation, in the roster, like, that's your number 2 QB. Yeah. If you're going to get rid of DJ, this is who you're supposed to start.
It's like you were told there was no cats in America and the streets are filled with cheese, and they weren't. And there was cats everywhere. If anybody gets the analogy I'm using, kudos to you. But that's what it legit is. Like, people feel like they were lied to now, and they've lost respect. And unfortunately, respect is one of those things. Once you lose it, you don't tend to get it back.
That's very
Especially in
hard.
a group. Maybe from an individual, you work your tail off, you gain that respect back, you gain that trust back. But for a group, that's even harder.
Yep.
And if that is what's going on, guys, I called it on the show yesterday. Rob, if you want to give your opinion on it, but I said point blank that as bad as the Giants have treated Mike Kafka in his time period, because I do think they've treated him like crap, point blank, between taking the play calling away, stopping him from interviewing for the OC job last year in Seattle, I think Mike Kafka should be the interim coach if he wants the gig. Let him beef up his resume that way and just figure out what you're going to do in the meantime and move on. You want a spark plug, sometimes getting rid of the people who are plugging the spark is the way to go. See what I did there?
Sometimes. Oh, I see what you did there.
Nice.
Sometimes you just need a new driver.
Yeah.
You're talking about all this car analogies. Sometimes some people don't know how to drive cars or treat the cars properly. They just get a new driver.
Yep. Yeah.
Might ease up some of these issues. You might not have to redline every time you get behind the gas pedal.
I do like doing that, though. It is fun.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.